where are we going from now? In 5 years, 10 years, where do we, I mean, what's the yield, what's the target for maize? We were producing, let's say, 1 kilogram per hectare. In 5, 10 years, how much? Can we set a target and then put everything around to achieve that target? And we did some simulation, you know, if we said, okay, if we keep business as usual, by 2020, this is the trend for yield across all the crops that we have here. We will, DRC will experience decrease in the yield if we keep business as usual. So we need to do something. We implemented some scenarios. Let's say, what does it take to achieve 6% growth every year on average? What kind of increase do we need in terms of crop yield for each crop to achieve 6% growth? What about achieving, or what about cutting poverty by half by 2015? What does it require in terms of yield growth?
Could I ask you whether you're talking about the yield for the particular plant or the yield in terms of how many acres are being used to produce it?
Just how much are we getting out of that?
Each plant? Okay. Yes. In terms, so it would be fertilizer, breeding, feeding?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Because as of now, most of the production is expanding land, which doesn't make sense. It's not efficient. You know, it's rather if you can increase what you get out of that plot of land. Second, let's set a benchmark for growth. Where do we want agriculture to be in terms of growth, 10 years down the road? And we did it for each province. And you'll see that Kinshasa here is 0-0 because we consider Kinshasa as an urban area where agriculture is tiny. So we put the weight on other provinces. So this is for growth. And you do the same thing for poverty here. So if we keep business as usual, we ask ourselves, when can the country cut poverty rate by half? Business as usual, it will take us until 2020 for national average, but for a city like Kinshasa, we need to wait 2025. And then for each province, we have a targeted year. What if we do something more, like growing by 6%, and we gain, we accelerate the speed. And then, of course, what if we target cutting poverty by half sooner than later? So at least the idea is that as a policymaker, you have this target in mind. And then the next question, not yet the next question, but the step 3 is capacity building. I promised to bring that, but somehow I forgot. Before we start, we did a review of institutional and human capacity dealing with agricultural and food issues in the DRC. I mean, it's in the ministry, I think you have for the whole country 3, maybe 2 PhD for the whole country working for the Ministry of Agriculture. And no one, I mean, masters, couple masters, and what do we expect these are critical issues that, you know, you need skilled people to provide a vision. So that's, and this is the things that people often they don't pay attention, and you know, you have your little project and you don't pay attention that, you know, there is some sort of a superstructure above. And if that's not working, even your well-designed tiny project may be affected. So we came up with this idea that we need to strengthen universities. Unfortunately, this morning I got an email from my main donor that because of the situation in DRC, I have to cut this part here. We were planning to form 30 master's students for the next 3 years and 10 PhD using a PhD sandwich program where they will come here to take classes and then go back, defend their dissertation back home. This morning, while I was working on this, been told that this need require long-term commitment, but because of the political unrest, they cannot commit for that. So, if you know anyone interested, I have to. And then strengthen agriculture policy processes. The Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Rural Development, the Ministry of Land, and strengthening agricultural research linkages. And this is the civil society section. You need all these farmer-based organizations. They need strengthening. They need leadership. And then on top of all of that, we will set up what we call strategic analysis and knowledge support systems. So this will be a platform of knowledge sharing. So everything about agriculture and food will be housed or stored or passed through this system. So the way we are hoping to build it, so we'll have a national node that linked to provincial nodes. This national node will be housed within the Ministry of Agriculture, because that's the client, but the regional nodes will be based in universities and think tanks in regions. And we have IFPRI and the Netherlands that are willing to fund the national nodes, and USAID is willing to fund the regional nodes. So
what was the first donor before the Netherlands? What did you say?
IFPRI, International
Food and
Agriculture.
Oh, UN.
Yeah, it's part of the UN, yeah, based in Rome. So they will fund the national node, and USAID will take the regional node. So the purpose of this is to develop a culture of evidence-based policymaking. I mean, you cannot just wake up and then decide to do example. No, it has to be based on some statistics, some evidence. So that's the reason. So of course, you need to. The question is, how much? You have to have an investment plan, because all this stuff, they cost something. So what exactly are we? What do we want what do we want to invest on? How much? Who's going to pay for that, and when? And this step, I'm heading to Kinshasa on Monday to kick off this step here, and the fight that we have been involving is to do this at provincial level, not at national level. I mean, if you put all these things into the hand of the minister, then we know what will happen. Thank God that in December 24th last year, the government, the President Kabila signed the new agricultural law that devolved the agricultural policy into the provinces. So they have now the responsibility of designing their own agricultural policies. The issue is they don't have the capacity to do it. And that I know. So that's why I and some of my colleagues, we are investing ourselves at least to have some pilots, province pilots, to see how it will work. So now we have meetings starting tomorrow. So the question is, would you join the wagon? Thank you very much.